Secure the bag, boo boo. What? What's going on? So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Ernesto. I'm a registered nurse and currently in school, pursuing my master's in nursing with the adult acute care nurse practitioner program. And one of the things that I talked about on my Instagram earlier in the year was about riding the wave. And this concept is something that I came across when I was in nursing school. And, you try to balance nursing school, you try to balance work. I was really into CrossFit at the time and try to balance that, prepping for competitions, things like that. And then, having a relationship. And, how do you bring all that together? And it's obviously I'm still a work in progress. Not an expert on this, but this is something that I came across, and it's helped me significantly since then. And it's this concept of riding the wave. And as the year changes, the seasons change, and so do you. Your energy, your vibes, they change with the seasons. And you may have your own calendar, you may have your own pattern of when you feel like extremely motivated to work, and there's other times where you just kind of want to relax. And I recognize that in myself. I know that during the summer, I don't really like to work that much. I have a lot of nephews. I have a big family. They're obviously, home from school. They're just hanging out. I remember asking my nephew one year, like, hey, what are your plans for the summer? And he's just like, I'm going to wear pajamas, stay up late, and play video games. And that's what I want to do. I don't really play video games, but I do like, hanging out with the family, doing some carne asada, having some cold beers, and just kind of hanging out. It feels weird for me to like go to work while the sun's still out, and I don't know, I don't like that feeling of being trapped inside. And that's probably why I don't like regular jobs or like office 9 to 5 type of jobs. I don't like that feeling of being confined inside. The difference between being like just tired or being worn out, there's definitely like adrenal fatigue where, after a while you're just so caught up and just like revving, going as fast as you can with everything, and you just get sick, you start getting sick, you start feeling depressed. I know if like I'm going against my own wave, I start feeling like resentful. I start finding excuses to call off. It's not good for anybody. The diva comes out. But now that summer's kind of coming towards the end, and as my boy Mr. Gatsby said, life starts all over with the crisp in the fall, so I feel like that push to, pick up more shifts, to pursue things that I've kind of been interested in doing, but I knew I wasn't going to have the energy or the right attitude going into it, and it would have felt very forced. But now I feel like, let's do this, let's grind this out. And going along with that, or building upon that, is just work. And a lot of people ask, like, how do you manage 2 jobs? How can you go through working more than 3 days a week? Full-time as a nurse is just 3 days a week, and a lot of people will make it seem more than what it is. So obviously 12-hour shifts can be pretty exhausting, and you can get a lot done in 12 hours, and a lot of things can go wrong in 12 hours. But I think that drawing from my previous experience of working 24-hour, 48-hour shifts on the ambulance. It just 12-hour shifts seem kind of short compared to that. But how do we get through those 12-hour shifts? How do we get through a period of working 6 days in a row, working maybe 10, 12, 15 days? And can we do it? Can we do that while staying safe, while staying sane? And I think the answer is yes, we can. And a lot of it has to do with your mind. And a lot of times we get overwhelmed just thinking about the big picture. And one of the things I like to do, and that I've learned over the years, is to break everything down to its most simple, basic terms. And that starts with counting. So let's take counting to 10 for an example. You can count normal, like a normal person, which would be, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you're kind of like worn out, especially if you're doing a task during that time. So one way that I like to break that down is I count to 10 by 5, but a special way of 5. So the first 5 would be 1, 2, 3, then 1, 2. Because you can always count to 3 and you can always count to 2. So that's 5. The second 5, we're going to go 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. And that's 10, right? But the whole idea is to break it down into its most simplest terms. You can always do one more of something, and you can always get through one shitty shift. So if you have a bad shift, like any day of the week, you could be able to clock in and just get through it. And no matter what happens, it's just one shift. And if you approach that to every shift, you'll have a better just outlook, and your work weeks will go by a lot faster, and you won't let these 12 hours become bigger than you. A lot of times we come in just feeling defeated already, and that mindset already sets you up for failure. And that's big, because if you're barely clocking in and you're already like defeated, that's going to be a long 12 hours. So how do we break that down? How do you break down a 12-hour shift? Depending what floor you're in, but no matter what you're doing, no matter what floor you're on, I think breaking it down into 4-hour slots is very manageable. You can survive 4 hours of anything. And with that, you clock in at 6, you look forward to 10. 10 to 2, 2 to 6. And that's it. Those are your little like mental like checkpoints. It's like, all right, cool. It's already 10. Cool. It's already midnight. It's downhill. Like, you're halfway there. It's 2 a.m. Cool. It's 4 a.m. You got 2 hours to go. And you just break your shift down into smaller segments, and it becomes more manageable. And this is true for working a lot of shifts in a row. So I personally would prefer to do 6 shifts in a row, just because it's easier with like sleeping. It's like once you get in the groove of working night shift, your sleeping pattern adjusts just to being up at night. And I don't like that dialysis schedule of like jumping around, because on your day off in the middle, you're just kind of hanging out, you're up by yourself, and it's not very productive. It can be productive, I can make it be productive. I can get a lot done in the middle of the night, but if you're trying to have like a normal life and interact with people, just sometimes that can be overrated. But you don't want to stay up on your day off for no reason. It just kind of seems like a waste of a night. So I like to just group all my days together. And so to get through 6 days, you just break it down into 3. So you have your first set of 3, then your second set of 3. Your first set of 3 is just, your day 1 is just like any other day 1. Don't even think about like, what's ahead. You just think about what's in front of you. So day 1 is just a normal day. Day 2, you're halfway there. You're already you're halfway onto day 3. By the time you finish day 3, this is where a lot of people get discouraged and they start overthinking, and they're like, oh man, I could be done now. Like, that's my work week. But you have another 3 more days, and that's where a lot of people have a hard time with that. So instead of that, just erase that out of your mind and just come back on your 4th day as day 1. Don't count it as day 4, because 4, you're already reaching that 5, and you're just kind of I don't know, for some reason nurses and people in healthcare get oh my god, 4 days in a row, I'm tired. It's just a number, but it messes you up in your head. And you can see this when you talk to people. If you tell someone I'm tired, it's my first day, they're kind of oh, okay, cool, you'll get over it. But if you tell somebody oh, I'm tired, it's my 4th day, it's oh, your 4th day, oh, you're crazy. And I think that's just weak-minded. And it's just kind of this culture that we kind of buy into. It's okay to take care of yourself and know when to rest, but not all the time. Come on, you have 4 days off. You're gonna have 8 days off after 6 days of working. So day 4 is day 1, and then 5 and 6, just count them as 1, because you're gonna be tired. That's everybody's tired. It's not special. You're not special. You're not superhuman. You're gonna be tired. So instead of coming in and being oh my god, it's my day 5, or oh my god, it's my day 6, it's 1. So day 5, it's okay. There's the light at the end of the tunnel. Day 6 is another story. Day 6, you've been waiting for day 6. It's, you probably haven't had a real meal. You don't really know what's going on in the world. If you work night shift, you've probably been sleeping a lot. But day 6, I'm telling you, the world could be falling apart, and you could have the worst shift of your life, and it doesn't matter, because you're not coming back for 7-8 days. So by the time you come back, you're going to forget your password. You're not going to know where to start your shift, and that's truly what I like. And I think that if you're going to be working a lot of shifts in a row and you're going to try to grind things out, because it is possible to grind it out, breaking it down into this counting method of smaller intervals, and then breaking down your day into short intervals, is just going to give you more success, and it's going to make it easier for you. Start by just doing 3 days in a row, and then add that extra day. You just keep adding in, and eventually you're just 6 is it's just, it is what it is, It's kind of I worked Thursday through Tuesday, but now I'm off Wednesday to Thursday. And that part is one of the things that I love about nursing, and the ability to, if your facility allows self-scheduling, to do that, because you can disappear. You can go get lost somewhere for 5 days, come back, rest a day or 2, and then go to work. You can't do that with very many other careers while making pretty good living. So I highly encourage you guys to find your tempo, find your season, and ride your wave.